Hi, my name is Paul Goyette, and I'm the founder and president of the law firm of Goyette, Ruano, and Thompson. And today what I'm going to talk to you about is what to do if you're facing a criminal charge in federal court. That usually comes to you by way of federal indictment. I'm going to talk about how to select a federal criminal defense attorney and why it is so important. So if you're facing an indictment in federal court, the stakes are very high. The rules in federal court are very complicated. They're very diverse. The rules vary from federal court judge to federal court judge. The judges have their own standing rules. So you need an expert in federal court. The stakes couldn't be higher. Much more severe penalties in federal court than there are in state court. But you do not have to go through that process alone. We have extensive experience in federal court defense in criminal matters, and we're here to help you. Now, you should know that a federal crime arises from an alleged violation of one of the federal laws passed by Congress. And the penalties in federal crimes are much more severe than their state court counterparts in almost every case. So you have to take these cases very, very seriously. And as I said before, the rules are more numerous, more complex, and more diverse than they are in state court cases. Also, what you should be aware of is these cases are typically, almost always, investigated by the FBI, and then those investigations are turned over to the U.S. Attorney's Office. They have way more staffing and a much bigger budget than you'll see at the state court level or the local county district attorney level, where sometimes their budgets are thin. The federal budgets are seemingly unlimited, and in the right kind of case, they will devote an unlimited amount of man and woman power to investigating your case. So what to do if you're the subject of a federal indictment? Well, you will need a lawyer. You cannot go it alone. Now, if you cannot afford a lawyer, there is the Federal Defender's Office that will appoint will appoint a lawyer on your behalf, and you definitely need to use one. You cannot go it alone, especially in federal court. As I said, the rules are much more complex. The penalties are much more severe. So what do we do that sets us apart? Well, at Goyette, Ruano Thompson, we have extensive experience in handling federal court criminal matters. I myself have gone to trial in both state and federal court 54 times to a jury verdict in cases like the one you might be facing right now. And it all starts from the very beginning of the case with thorough investigation on our part to really evaluate what the source of the evidence is and the strength of the evidence. We also know that a federal case against you does not affect just you, it affects your family, because not only are there implications for your freedom or your liberty, where the federal government is usually trying to throw you in prison for an extended period of time and take a lot of your money, but it also has a big effect on your career. If you're a professional, a licensed professional in particular, there's going to be an impact on your license, and we can help you mitigate the negative impact on your license for sure. There's also going to be significant economic consequences because federal crimes come with fines, and fines can be, again, much like the jail penalties, can be much, much more severe than in state courts. So there's a big financial or economic stake facing you as well. Our job as your criminal defense lawyer, or the job of any federal criminal defense lawyer, is to protect your constitutional rights. That starts first and foremost with ensuring that your rights for unreasonable search and seizure have not been violated. That's a classic trick of the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, is to send out warrants with very, very thin probable cause supporting that warrant. And oftentimes the evidence gathered pursuant to those warrants can be very damaging to you. So one of the things we look at in almost every case is whether there was sufficient probable cause to justify the warrant that leads to evidence that's being used against you in your case. In almost every case, we look for suppression motions to quash warrants and suppress evidence that's been obtained through warrants and oftentimes many other means. At Goyette, Ruano, and Thompson also, our posture is always that we're ready to go to trial, and we will go to trial. I've gone to trial many, many times. I like going to trial, and oftentimes you can get your best result by going to trial. That doesn't mean you always go to trial, but you have to be ready to go. And the other side has to know you're willing to do that. If you have a federal defense lawyer that is not interested in going to trial, is not willing to push it that hard, you will be at a severe disadvantage. But really the trick to getting ahead and having a good result and succeeding in these federal cases is preparation. Thorough preparation, understanding how the federal government got the evidence against you, looking to see if any of that evidence can be suppressed, doing a thorough investigation of your own, tracking down witnesses that either the federal government found or possibly other witnesses, and really taking a hard look at the backgrounds and the histories of all of the witnesses that might be testifying against you. You'd be surprised at what you can find out there that really undermines their credibility. The last thing I will say at this point is that you should never give a voluntary statement to the federal government. If the FBI calls you, do not go walking in like they're there to help you. They may be very nice, they might be very friendly. They are there to put you in prison. So do not talk to them without having a lawyer. Get a lawyer on your side, consult with your lawyer, and then you and your lawyers decide if you're going to give any kind of statement to the federal government or not. In most cases, we advise our clients to not give any type of voluntary statement to the federal government because that will be used against you, and it's important to protect yourself as much as possible. So with that being said, if you're facing an indictment or you're under an investigation and there has not been an indictment yet, you need a lawyer to protect you in this federal investigation. We've done it many, many times. We're happy to help you. Please contact the office. I'll talk to you directly about your case and to see if we can be of help. Let us take this huge burden off your shoulder and protect you from the federal government.